An appraiser is very much connected to the market. And what we have to do is come up with what the values are for a work of art. And that's really what defines an appraiser. What my job really is now is to bring the specialists in, and since I have knowledge in all these areas, to sort of like integrate what a lot of different specialists are telling me, and also to sort of discount when I think something doesn't seem to fit in. So it's more of an integrative and supervisory kind of job. Sometimes you might think something is very beautiful, but it doesn't have value. You really have to be a bit removed and look at the object and try to connect it to what the market, again, as I said, what the market is paying for it. When I first started to explore, it would be going to museums and reading on it. And then over the years, just by taking many different courses at many different institutions and involving myself in what was around, going to galleries, I became much more familiar with it. I'm interested in art in general, but I developed an expertise in Asian art because I was one of the earlier people to be involved with not only selling Asian art, but more so studying Asian art and seeing how it fit into the marketplace. I very luckily was a collector early on. Even as a child, I would just collect pictures. So I was able to learn as a collector and get a sense of these of the works of art and how do you value it. A lot of the information that I have, one couldn't necessarily access because it comes from years of working with this material. But there are public sources, and again, one can go into shops and find out what are things being sold for. And that's really how you have to put together what you hear and what you access along with your understanding about really what occurs, and that's experience. What's happening now, of course, with China's great wealth, there's more ability within China to consume these kind of objects. So it affects the market in that way. When we talk about the Chinese market, there's traditional Chinese painting, and then there's what we call maybe global or contemporary international Chinese painting. And that has different markets. But it seems that the global market for contemporary Chinese art seems to be very strongly based in the West with a growing interest in the East. Within China itself, there still seems, the attitude is that probably in the more traditional kind of Chinese objects and work, it seems to be of more interest. The whole idea for me as an appraiser is to get it right. And so if somebody has a valid reason to think that the information we gave them is not consistent or they don't think it's true enough, we'll reevaluate it. But most of the time we're pretty careful about the statements we make.